Do you want to see more women playing backgammon? If so, keep watching because that's the topic of this video. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, and I'll work on it. If you love backgammon, you can become a member of this channel, giving you exclusive access to the most popular videos. My book, Backgammon Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. In this video, it's my great pleasure to welcome my friend Tania Klimova to discuss backgammon and specifically the topic of women in backgammon. Hello.
Hi, Alex. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
My pleasure. How are you doing today?
Great. Thank you. Perfect. I live in France near the Atlantic Ocean. So we always have a few sunshine here, almost a little bit. So happy.
Great, great. I'm happy to hear about that. I'm excited to talk about backgammon and getting women to play in backgammon. I'd like to start with a little background biographical information for the viewers to get to know you a little bit. You said you live in France. Can you tell us where you were born and raised and how you got to France, please?
Yes, I was born in Russia, in the north of Russia. So, very roughly speaking, between Murmansk and St. Petersburg in Archangels region. So, very cold winters, but with northern lights. Beautiful. And I moved to France when I was 18 to study at the university. I stayed here and I've been living in France for 20 years now. And I consider myself as a French backgammon player because I started to play in France.
Very. Which part of France do you live in?
It's a town called La Rochelle.
La Rochelle.
I used to live in Paris for 10 years and before that in Lyon.
Oh, Lyon.
Yeah, in the center of France, closer to south.
Very good. What kind of work do you do?
I manage an online language school, Russian language school, where people can subscribe and receive content monthly or yearly. So I don't teach that much myself, but I create intermediate level lessons. And for a couple of years now, I've been organizing language trips. So I travel, I meet my students, we have fun. So I have a great job.
That's great. So it's online, so anybody anywhere in the world can learn.
Yes, yes. It's all in Russian though, and it's for intermediate level. So you need a starting level
Need a
to
little bit.
start
Okay.
listening. But yeah, all around the world. Mm.
Very good. And are you married yourself? Do you have kids?
No, I have a partner who is also a backgammon player. Actually, I would say he's in top three French backgammon players.
Really? That's
And
great. So
he won some very important tournaments, including a couple of years ago, an individual world championship, not the Monaco, but the other one. And no, we don't have kids. I'm actually I don't want kids. So
okay.
yeah.
Very good, very good. I'm very excited to talk about backgammon. Before we do you have any hobbies or interests outside of backgammon?
Yes, I really love languages. I'm learning Japanese now
Really?
for a few years. It's hard.
I know.
So, so if you are a Japanese backgammon player and you see me at a tournament, I will certainly come and try to talk to you in my broken Japanese. Beware. I really like walking, hiking. I can walk forever. Reading. I like reading popular science books. Yes, and traveling too. Yeah, so that these are my main hobbies.
Very good. You mentioned you're learning Japanese. So there was my son, he's learning Japanese. And last time Michi came to our tournament in Los Angeles, I was on the phone with my son when Michi was there. So he spoke a little Japanese with him
Oh,
and he was very impressed. But it's
then
very
he can
it's
understand me because when you are a language learner and you manage to put together a sentence that actually the person understands, it's such an excitement. So thank you all the Japanese players for your patience.
yeah, we have a lot of great Japanese players. That it's a very
Yes,
strong country. Uh,
exactly.
So, what kinds of places have you traveled to, maybe for backgammon that you've enjoyed?
Yes, actually, I love traveling, but I'm not collecting travel destinations. When I'm really interested in a country, then I go and I like spending time there. I don't just put my finger on the map and go just to travel. I like when there is a reason. And so, yes, backgammon is a great opportunity to travel. So far I've been to Sweden, Greece. In France, we have a lot of small local tournaments every month, several times a month. So I travel a lot in France. When I go to Russia to see my family, I take part in their local tournaments. Also, great experience. Mostly Armenian men, but a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yes, but maybe my most incredible travel was to Japan. I went to Japan twice. It was incredible. Mm.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, I heard Japan is beautiful as well.
Yeah. But I don't think you need to go far to feel abroad to change your ideas. Sometimes just a weekend somewhere not far is enough for me. I consider this traveling too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very good. So how
Mhm.
did you get into backgammon yourself?
I started playing backgammon 4 years ago, just after COVID, with my former partner, who was also a player. And for me, backgammon is associated with freedom when we were all free to, at last, to travel, to go, playing backgammon on a small Greek board in Madrid, Spain, drinking beer, enjoying sunshine. And then I joined the Parisian Backgammon Club. It's a huge club. And then I really got into it because they have this great sense of community and helping each other and being very patient, explaining the game, the mistakes. And also, it was the first time I actually found real community, a place where you can go twice a week. I don't have children, so actually, it's not easy to meet friends when you don't have children. They have children, so just being able to go somewhere like that twice a week, it was amazing. And yeah, and I'm my personality is, if I like something and I get into it, I'm like a train. I just keep going for years and years and years. Maybe not as intensely as some people who will study for 3 hours every day with XG, but little
Like
by
me.
little, little by little, little progress every month, every year.
Very good. So was that club, Paris Video?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
Paris
I
Video.
know that
Mhm.
one because my friend James McNaughton, plays there and he's involved in that.
Yes, I know James very well. Mhm.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
Yes, he is.
Uh, wonderful, wonderful. So happy to hear about that. So what would you say you enjoy the most about backgammon?
Well, first of all, it was the community. Yes, social aspect, but also I think it's just a perfect combination for a hobby because there is festive social aspect, but also potential to study and to improve. There is this little luck factor where you can beat the best player. I remember my first tournament in Paris. I was playing a very strong player and I just had amazing dice, and I wouldn't even send the cube in a whole game because I didn't even know what it was, this cube, doubling cube, and him just getting darker and darker, seeing that I play so bad and still winning. It was funny. And yes, I think this combination of social aspect, um, also thinking. But then I got into more mathematical aspect of it, and I was really happy because at school, as a lot of people, especially girls, I thought I was really bad at math. And then with exercising, I saw that was possible and actually not that difficult. And it's like with languages, when you making progress, you get addicted to it. Mm.
That's great. That's great. Uh, so I'm particularly very happy to have you because I personally have an initiative to get more people to play backgammon, and in particular, underrepresented demographics such as women and youth. So I'm very happy that you're here because you also promote women to play backgammon. So I want to thank you for that and for all of your efforts. And let's talk a little bit about that. I know you had mentioned there aren't a lot of women who play backgammon, and I feel like that's similar in maybe other games like chess, maybe poker. You know, do you have an idea of approximately what percentage of the backgammon players that play maybe in your group are women?
No, unfortunately, I don't think there are any official statistics.
Mhm.
I would say maybe between 15 and 20%. But in our club here in La Rochelle, actually, there are quite a few women and strong players. Every year we have a online team championship, and I think in our team we have as many women as men.
Oh,
But I would say, yeah, 20% maximum. It depends on tournaments, on countries.
well,
Difficult to say.
that's interesting that you say that. I think, in our group, there's maybe 10 to 20%. With yours,
Mhm.
it's more. So, what do you think is the reason why there are so few women that play backgammon as compared to men?
Wow, Alex. it's a it's a big question, big
Yeah.
discussion. Well, I think actually backgammon is not a kind of exception. I think we have to look at it more globally. And we know that with the invention of agriculture, women had been staying at home. Women's place were home with children, with home chores. So little by little, in recent years, maybe recent 100 years, there were more women in important fields of our society. I think the priority was education, then workplace, politics too. Now, in most countries, I think in all the countries, I hope women can vote. So I think it's kind of logical that hobbies are last fields to think about it. Actually, I don't know
Yeah.
what you think about it. So if I had to choose where to have more equality at workspace, politics or backgammon and chess, I'd rather start with politics or or home tasks, for example, family. So I think backgammon is not initially different. It's just changing slowly because it's not a priority. Then it's kind of vicious cycle because when you have a place or an activity where you have a predominance of men or women, I think it's quite obvious that it's more difficult for, let's say, women to get into this activity. Yeah. Because I think it's, of course, it's a generalization, there are exceptions, but we are attracted to people who are similar to us. Okay, if for example you are walking on the street and you see a bar or a place full of men doing something, and then opposite a place of women doing something, I think you will be more attracted to a place full of men because it's natural. And then imagine you enter and they are knitting.
Yeah, I
But
understand.
as a woman, for example, if I walk on the street in the evening, or even during the day, and I see a group of men, group of women, I think I'd rather cross on the side with women. It's yeah. So there are always exceptions. For example, there are men who say that they only have female friends, or girls who only have male friends, or you can see sometimes a group of men in backgammon, and among them a woman. But usually, these women, for example, were brought up in a particular way with parents who gave them more confidence, and so it's a vicious circle, and it needs to be broken, I think, by attracting people in the beginning, maybe artificially, but then hopefully more naturally. Mm,
Yeah, very
mm,
good.
mm,
And I
mm, mm.
think both of us, yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to add that I think there is no biological reason to it, because what I hear often is just women are just not interested. A lot of men just they're just not interested. They are not competitive, for example. And I've been very interested in this topic. What is biological? What is social? This is famous nurture against nature.
Mhm.
What is education? What is nature? And I've been reading a lot about it. And of course, we are biologically, physically not the same. The brain is the same, but we also have hormones, and so we are not 100% the same. But very interesting thing about competition, for example, I can recommend if people want to read more about gender and gender differences. I've read a book recently by Frans de Waal. Is American and Dutch primatologist, and we are primates too. It's a book called Different, about differences but also similarities. And what he says about competitiveness is it's very very interesting. I don't know what would you say, who is more competitive, men or women, or how does it work? What's your
What would I say?
mm,
Honestly, I've seen both men and women be competitive in
mhm,
different things. Obviously, in backgammon, there are more men, so I see a lot more men that are
mhm,
competitive in general. In backgammon, I see a lot of the women, at least the ones that I've seen, go more for the social aspect, so they're not necessarily as competitive in
mhm,
that regard. But but I've seen that are women very competitive in other things too.
mm, it's true. But what he actually says, it's fascinating, is that men and women both are very competitive, but we generally compete with our own gender.
Ah.
Okay, so we will be more competitive with people of the same gender. Of course, there are always exceptions. Okay, we sometimes see among colleagues a man and a woman want the same place, and I think it actually makes sense. When I go to a tournament, maybe it's just me, and I see the results. I don't know why, but I always spot where other women are in the ranking. Like, oh, among women, okay, who is first? And then among women, where am I? Or when a good player, or when we do BMB, for example, tournaments, where you have your PR calculated. I always check the next woman, or the one before me, or so we are competitive with our own gender. So it explains why when a new man arrives in the club and he see all these guys studying, analyzing their matches with XG, and analyzing the mistakes, he will be attracted to this group, okay, more. And if a woman were in the same situation, I think she would get more competitive too. So it's you see what I mean?
They feed off of each other.
Yeah, yeah. So women are more inspired by other women, even if it doesn't forbid us from being inspired by opposite gender, of course, too. But apparently, biologically, we need an inspiration of our own gender. That's why it's so important to yeah to have more women, including on the streams and things like that, because yeah, that's how it works apparently.
Good, good. So you just answered my next question that I was going to ask is why is it important to increase the number of women who play? So that's fantastic. I think, one of the things that I've seen is as we were discussing, for example, in our club, it's more competitive. We play tournaments, we play matches, we have points, we have rankings and things like that. And at least in our group, we have many more men than women, maybe 10 to 20% women. However, more recently, I've seen a number of groups, especially on social media. Usually, they're bringing young people together and it's more of a social aspect, and sometimes there's more than 50% women. What
Mhm.
what what are your thoughts about that? I think that's a great way to get women into the game.
I think so, yes. Yeah, I think so. I think maybe it's because from the beginning they they focused on getting 50-50, and so it kind of nourishes itself. It's easier when from the beginning you have this variety, maybe. But to answer your question about why do we need more women, and actually 2 years ago, I launched an initiative on change.org about recommendations how to bring more women. And some of my male friends, players, they ask, but why do you want more women? Do you want 50-50? Why do you want 50-50? And I think the answer is you don't, if you don't want more women, it's fine. You don't need to want more women. You know, it's not it's not compulsory. There, for example, if you're a private club of men, your private group, you don't have to bring women. It's your group. I have groups of female friends, not backgammon, but other fields. We don't want in this particular group men either, so it's fine. But I think if you are somebody who is who questions life around you, who tries to find reasons why, then you naturally ask this question: why in this game where you don't need any physical strength, any special male hormones? Why? So if you ask yourself this question, then it's natural that you are looking for answers, I think. Also, we know for other fields that having more balanced ratio of men and women, it brings less violence. For example, if we see in some countries in the army, I know that in Norway, they had a huge campaign of bringing more women in the army, and they saw the decrease of violence. It's more balanced, and you just meet more people. So many couples met at tournaments. I know people. So even for this, I'm dating somebody who also plays, and it's such a pleasure to go on trip together, to tournaments together, just for these two. But I think the real answer is that mm, women can like backgammon and like backgammon as much as men. So why don't they come? So because there are some obstacles,
Yeah.
obviously. So.
Yeah, we need
Mhm.
to, get them to learn, give them exposure. Uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
what are the items in your initiative that you mentioned to that propose to get more women to play? What are the things that you had mentioned and things that people can do?
Mhm. Mhm. Well, first of all, as in my work, I also do a lot of marketing, social marketing, and what you how you represent your event is really really important, and people really should understand that showing more women or showing more of any group will attract this group more. So I recommend showing more women on visuals, pictures, promotional videos, and it's very important that they shouldn't be shown as objects next to money, cars, and cigars. You have to show them playing. It's fine. They can be sexy. They can have a cleavage. It's fine. It's normal, but they shouldn't. They should be shown playing. I think it's very important.
Yeah, I remember on social media recently there was a point that someone
Mm,
said they tried to show women, but then
mm.
people got upset about that. So, um,
I
what?
think I know what
Yeah,
you're talking about,
yeah.
and I think this woman. It was a perfect AI generated woman who was not playing. She was just next to a picture of money and the car. So I think so this is not, this is what we call objectifying somebody. This is not showing a player. So inclusive language is also very important. In English, you are lucky because I think English doesn't have, for example, you say a player, the winner, so you don't have the difference between
Right.
feminine and masculine. In France, it's a big debate.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, because if you want to include everybody, you have to use two words to say, for example, joueur, joueuse, player,
Oh,
and the
joueur
player.
is male and joueuse is female. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I'm fighting with people here, trying to make them understand. Because again, scientifically, it was proven that when we use in French the masculine word, people say, oh no, this signifies both genders. But no, actually, it signifies male. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So it's very important. And now people use it more and more. And I'm very happy to see in some backgammon books authors using she also, she and he. This is a big compliment to people who do it. It seems a bit superficial, but it's really important. I feel included when I see a she or female pronouns. Also, more women on the stream. Actually, a lot of women say that they appreciate it because when I see women on the stream, I can see that yeah, they're playing at this tournament. So next time, and again, it's the kind of inspiration. We get inspired, and but it's not easy because some tournaments start by putting on the stream people who won the previous one, which is often a man, and then you know, so something has to change here. Also, just the general behavior. I don't think I need to mention comments. It still happens to me to go to some tournaments where there would be a man who will just follow me with his eyes wherever I go for hours.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, people should understand that it's just you don't do it anymore.
Right. People don't like that, obviously.
Yes, yes. Also, as a tournament organizer, it's important to take women's requests seriously. And this is a very important topic, Alex. It's topic of stereotypes and emotions because we think that women are more emotional. So, because of that, their requests are often not taken seriously. It's also very important. What else? Yes. It's a very interesting topics. The remarks on appearance and looks. I think here everybody should be more careful and understanding, women and men, because I have to say that it's true. Sometimes when I sit at the board, a man will make a comment about my appearance. It's often a compliment, and I'm sure he means well. But when you get several like that per day, it's strange to complain about it, but it's kind of you want to be complimented on your game, for example, or given advice on your game. Um, so actually, I think there is a trend right now. It's just that you're not supposed to comment on people appearance at all, men or women, bad things or good things. Actually, I think we are going towards this idea that appearance it's not something that actually we can influence that much. At some point, we'll get older. We'll get white hair problems, problems with teeth, and so what are we going to do? So, but at the same time, I would recommend for women who get these remarks also be understanding. You know, don't be aggressive. It's also two-way communication. Um, I'm thinking I receive these compliments, and I'm thinking, well. I'm still young enough to have these compliments, healthy enough. So imagine myself when I'm 80, will be maybe missing these times. So yeah, so I think it's a two-way communication, be understanding with each other, two ways. Yeah.
You brought up a lot of good points, so I wanted to kind of maybe mention some of those. For example, you talked about in the books they call one player he, one player she. That was originally a convention that was started. I don't know if you know by Knack Ballard and Paul Weaver in their book Opening Backgammon Openings, book
Mhm.
A, and there was never a book B or anything like that. But it was the player is the male and the opponent is a female, so
Mhm.
there's never confusion, and I think that's good. And you had mentioned you have a copy of my book about back games, and I use the same convention for
Oh, it's here.
yeah, it's a uh, good paperweight.
Mhm.
Um, but
Oh, that's great. That's great. But I've seen it in quite a lot of books.
yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. Another thing you mentioned is I didn't tell you, but when I was in high school, I learned French, and you know, in French, there's a lot more male and female than there is in English or perhaps other languages. So when I was when I was studying, it's like, how do you say table in French? It's la
Mhm.
table. And so we said, why is a table female? Like I didn't
Mhm.
understand that, but that's kind of like the language lends itself to that. So I can
Mm.
see how there's a lot of those issues in France um, as compared to other things. You also mentioned the streaming. I think it's great to get more women to play streaming, and that's actually one of the initiatives we're having at the upcoming tournament in Los Angeles. We're going to try to get more women in on the stream and on the commentary and interviewing them between matches. I think it's great. I think there are some challenges with that. First of all, there aren't many females to begin with, so there's a limited opportunity, but obviously we're going to try to do our best. And sometimes some people, not just women, but men, some are shy about being on the stream.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
want to respect that too, but I think it's a good opportunity to do that. And I really enjoy having women's perspective on the commentary. We had that last time, and people really enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
It's great. It's. I think it's also important to have women on commentary. Yes.
yeah,
And you are right about women. I have the impression that women are shyer than men going on the stream. And sometimes I get annoyed with them a little bit. You are right, we have to respect it because not everybody wants to be judged or but especially strong players, it's also this change we want to bring. Women have to take part in it. So please, strong players, female players, when you are asked to go on the stream, think about it as a mission for all women because sometimes in France at big tournaments everybody knows me because I annoy everybody. I go to the organizers and I say, please, 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 women on the stream. And then at the end I come and I say, why didn't you put this women on the stream? Oh, actually I tried, but she said no. So it kind of undermines also our work, but should be respected for their decisions. But
yeah.
I know that I don't play very well yet, but I always accept when I'm asked because, in addition, you can then analyze your match and transcribe it, or somebody, some good soul, does it for you. So it's a plus. Mm.
It is good. I think, you know, one of the challenges is when you have streams with commentary, we're used to watching like top players, so it's very analytical and it's very educational. And sometimes, like when you make a mistake, you get nervous because it feels like a lot of criticism. However, when I do the commentary, I try to adapt and adjust. So when I do a commentary of top players, we're talking about all the moves and things like that. But when we're doing a commentary on maybe an intermediate match, we don't necessarily bring up all those topics, but other things. So it shouldn't be critical of the players playing because I know some people would feel intimidated, and I can understand that.
Yeah, I understand too. And also for a good player, it's always good to play an intermediate player because it sometimes creates interesting situations. And so, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And you also mentioned the other thing of making comments maybe as a compliment or doing something nice. And I feel like everyone sees things through their own lens. They hear things through their own ears. So, when someone does something or says something that's intended to be complimentary, but sometimes the person who hears it or sees it finds it to be maybe more negative, it's challenging. You mentioned about, commenting on the appearance, but someone had told me, one time a man opened the door for a woman, which is a very gentlemanly thing to do, but then they get offended about that. So,
Mm, mm, mm.
what are your
I
comments
think,
about things like
yeah,
that?
I think we all have one or two extreme examples of things like that. For example, opening the door for somebody. I don't think it should be done by men to women. It's just a polite thing to do. For example, I also hold the door to a man if he walks behind me.
Sure.
But talking about being a gentleman, I don't know if it exists in the US, but in France, there is a very, very typical comment that men make sometimes.
Mm.
And in Russia too, I've heard it. And it happens to me at least once at every tournament. So I win against a man, and then his friend hears it, and he says, "Oh, you've been a real gentleman towards Tanya. You've been a gentleman. You are a gentleman." So what does it mean? It means that actually he can win easily against me, but he decided, being a real gentleman, decided to please me by losing. But it was because he decided to please a lady. That's what it means, actually, to me. Yeah, it's very offensive, I find, because what's the meaning of it? And so, talking about improving things for women, when I hear such a comment, I always react because actually, as you say, people want to be nice. They don't want to offend anybody. Very few people want to actually consciously offend. It's important to understand for women too. So it's important to react with humor sometimes. And I always point out at it, and I say, for example, wow, nobody says that anymore. I mean, because they're just repeating the sentence like parrots.
Right.
Yeah. So in Russia it's the same. Oh, I've been a gentleman. I've let her win. This
Oh,
is
in that
very,
respect, I see, I see.
yeah, yeah. This is so we have to start getting men conscious of these things. That these things you don't say it. Or for example, recently I've been playing a match. I was losing 8-0 in 9 points, and then it went to 8-8. And then at the end, at the last game, I was lucky, so luck was on my side, and I was winning, rolling well. And there's a guy standing next to me, and he says, "That's woman's magic. I knew they were all witches," something like that.
Wow.
And it's it's cute, but at the same time, I fought like a tiger to win this match.
Right,
It
right.
wasn't magic, so these kind of old-fashioned comments, it's important to realize that. I think it's important to realize that we make them because we heard
Mhm.
them somewhere. Just this little ticks. I don't know how you say it.
Right, right.
And On the other side, for women have to understand that it's because men heard them somewhere else, and they don't want to be mean, don't want to insult them, just correct them nicely. And if each woman nicely corrects a man who says that, or even men around, you have right to, then it will disappear, I think, naturally.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. You know, when I play a man or I play a woman, you know, at the end of the match, I shake their hand and I say good match, and it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. We should have, you know, both genders, men and women, people, diversity of all different countries playing and things like that. And something that someone has proposed that I feel might be really useful to help with these issues that you mentioned is to perhaps have a set of guidelines to say, you know, what are things that are appropriate? What are things that are not appropriate? Because maybe some people don't know what's appropriate or what's not appropriate. And some areas may be like in a gray area where some people may find it appropriate or some people may not. What do you think of the idea of, you know, having guidelines and just like having it so people can know and people can read and people can learn?
Yeah, I think some tournaments offer some guidelines, rules, and it's nothing to do with actually an opponent being a woman or a man. It's just a fair play and decent behavior. But it's true that some men tend to behave a certain way towards women. For example, some men don't like losing to women, and you can see sometimes, especially uh, unfortunately in the Middle Eastern countries, sometimes when losing to a woman, it used to be like losing your face.
Yeah.
But it's changing, fortunately, because we see now women winning tournaments. So if you lose to a woman who won a tournament, then it's fine, not as bad. Yes, but guidelines is a good idea, not just for towards women, but towards everyone. Yeah,
Yeah, I
courtesy.
think that would be great if we kind of expanded the guidelines
Mm.
for
Mm.
everyone. Another topic I wanted to discuss with you is that of women's events in big tournaments. So I've heard kind of two different views. That obviously, as you know, there are a lot of major tournaments, and then they have different events and different divisions, and sometimes they'll have a women's only event. So some people say they're proponents of that because that encourages more women to participate for the reasons you mentioned earlier. But on the other hand, some people say, well, women should be treated equally as men, so they should just have a single tournament. And then some people say, well, if they have a women's only tournament, why should they not have a men's only tournament? And, you know, they all have arguments. So I wanted to see what are your thoughts on this?
Wow, I don't have a clear answer, and with some of my friends, female players, strong players, we don't agree. Some are really against it, and I can see the point because for me the danger is created a permanent separation. I'm actually very worried about what happened in Russia because backgammon nardy was recognized as a sport officially, and they created for official ranking a separation. And some people can explain it, but I'm against this idea of separation. So I wouldn't like it to go this way. Then the argument about, oh, let's have a males event, then I don't think it's valid because men are not a minority in backgammon.
Right.
Um, I actually last year I took part in a women world championship in Sweden, I think. Yes, Sweden. And actually, it was a very good experience because I think for a lot of women, it's their first uh, introduction to international tournament. For all of us, actually, it was one of our first international tournaments. And I was very happy to see the picture of the trophies, trophy ceremony, because there were plenty of women on it. I always hate seeing pictures with only men with trophies. It's my heart is bleeding, even if my partner is on it. Um, but yes, I agree that it can encourage the separation. And but in the initiative we are launching now, our ties survey, we have some women who say that they like these competitions. Maybe for now, the situation we have now, maybe it's an opportunity for women to be on the podium and to win things. But I think it should be a temporary solution. It shouldn't be. Yes, because if it's 50-50 men and women, then yes, the question will be legitimate. Why not men events then?
Right,
Yeah.
right. I think
Mm,
there's not a right or wrong answer about these
mm,
things. It's just
mm.
about thinking about, what are the best things to do to try to improve.
It's true. It's true.
You
What, excuse me, what I see, if I can add, is that strong female players usually they're against it because they can be equal to men, to men's teams.
Mhm.
But for beginners, for women who, for example, don't know many players at this tournament, it can be a good entrance, like a door to a tournament. Yeah, so there are pros and cons.
Very good, very good. The next topic I wanted to discuss was something you mentioned, your new initiative called Ties. Can you
Mhm.
please tell us what that stands for and what it is?
What does it stand for?
I remember. So what is it? What is the
Okay,
reason for
it's
the initiative?
tournament inclusivity experience survey. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes. So it's a project we launched with two of my friends, colleagues. So it's Josephine Bischler from Germany and Irina Litzenberger, whom you know, I imagine, from
Yes.
the US. So very exciting. We selected 16 tournaments this year all around the world. And after each tournament, the same poll, the same survey will be sent to female participants with 13 questions about how did they feel, about the organization, fair play, also spectators, how did spectators behave. And at the end, they have the opportunity to leave a little comment. So we calculate an average mark for every tournament. And the survey is anonymous, very important. Uh, and then after the answers, we send the feedback to the organizers, also anonymously. And at the end, there will be a ranking of the best tournaments for women. Of course, it's not a best ever because the selection is only 16. But we think that it will encourage organizers to improve things and also to understand what women want and like. And we already did this with 2 tournaments. It was very positive. We sent the feedback to one of the organizers. He was very grateful and he said that he's planning to reach the best mark the next time. And it's really fascinating because we are discovering things we didn't know about women, what they like, what they don't like. It's fascinating. Yeah. Mhm.
That's great. I think it's outstanding to have an opportunity. Feedback provides an opportunity for improvement because sometimes, as you say, you don't know what you don't know. So, but if someone tells you that, now you know, and you can improve.
Exactly, exactly. If I can just quote 2 examples, if we have time.
Please.
So, for example, there was a tournament where all the matches were filmed by the organizers. And many women said that they appreciated it because they thought that it improved the opponent's behavior. Because especially it was in a country where men are quite emotional. And they found that it actually helped them. Also, having a female referee walking Also, they found it easier to ask her. It's very important if you have a team, have at least one female referee. Then another comment: there's a top player, very famous female player. She said that actually what she realized is that when she's playing, spectators keep touching her chair, back of her chair, keep touching, pushing. And when she talked about it with male players, it never happens to them. It seems completely strange. Why is it important? But I think there was a study with black women who complained that people come and touch their hair. Like, oh, can I touch your hair? How nice. And it's a question of personal space and respect of personal space. And it looks like women are still maybe a little bit less respected. The privacy is less respected than men, and not intentionally. But once we know that, it's easy to change, I think. So we are already discovering very interesting things thanks to ties.
That's great. I really appreciate that initiative. I hope it certainly helps bring more women to play. And then I think we had also discussed another opportunity of maybe, having a survey for people that don't play in tournaments to find out why they don't play in tournaments.
Mm.
I think that's
Also,
great
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Also, and Alex, I really want to thank you because I think it's really exceptional that a man is interested in promoting backgammon among women. It's I absolutely understand men who don't care about it. It's fine for them. So, so I really appreciate when men are invested. And as I'm a big science and statistics geek, it's proven that initiatives that favor women but proposed by men, they work better. So even women still follow men more than they follow women because there's more respect. And so guys and Alex and all men, keep promoting backgammon among women, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. What I'll tell you is, one of the things that creating this channel has given me is the opportunity to meet people all over the world, like yourself and so many others, men, women, people from all different countries. And, I would have never had that opportunity. And it brings great joy in my life. I like to wake up and do video calls and play backgammon with different people. And, for me, it doesn't matter whether you're from France or Russia or United States or whatever. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, if you're young or old. It doesn't matter. We all play the game, and the game is to have fun. When I started playing, I started as a child. We used to play, with our family, and it's a game that brings people together. Um, and I do appreciate that, but for me, that like when I'm playing against a man, I'm playing against a woman. There's no difference for me, and I think that's how it should be.
Mm, yeah, yeah, exactly. I just want to mention that a few years ago I went to Sweden, to Stockholm Open, yes. And I found that there it was my best tournament experience as a woman because there men actually asked me for my advice at the end of the game. Like, oh, what do you think? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And yeah, I found that Scandinavian countries maybe are very much ahead in this matter, but
That's
hopefully
great.
everybody else soon.
That's great. That's great. It's been such a pleasure discussing all of these things, and I hope with your efforts and efforts by others, we can get more women to play. The last thing I wanted to do is actually play. So we're hoping to play maybe a
Yay!
quick 1 point match.
Yes, against XG.
And
Is that
six.
yeah? Ooh.
Okay, so now we're gonna play a 1 point match against XG. We're playing on a beautiful backgammon galaxy. It's the void board with the purple inlay. The XG board is made by Rain. He makes beautiful XG boards. There's a link in the description to where you can get them. Tanya, you can play with me. We can consult. The most important thing is to have fun. Number 2, to learn. Playing the turquoise green checkers at the bottom, XG the yellow checkers at the top. 1 point match, so there's no cube. Bearing off on the right. And here we go.
Let's
6
go.
6-3. Okay, now 3-1. Okay, so how do you like to play the 3-1?
5 point.
5 point. Very good. Very good. A lot of people hit. It turns out that if the split were 6-4, it's slightly better, at least for money to hit. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
because they are threatening to make their 5 point. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Good. Okay,
Mhm.
6-1. Okay, and now 6-5.
Run.
Run. 6-2 makes the bar point. Okay, so 2-1.
Mhm.
The pip
I
count is
think we
above a
only
board.
have, well, 24, 22, that's for sure. And as we have only one checker to escape, why not come even closer? We don't have anybody to retain. What do you
Okay.
think? What
Yeah,
do you think
I think
about
that's
that?
reasonable. Also, maybe
Mhm.
this is reasonable because
Yeah,
you're behind in the
yeah.
race. So both, I
Yes.
think both are fine.
Yeah, maybe do you think they could give us something next roll? I don't know. Maybe.
You mean
Like
whoever?
leave something in front of us?
Oh yeah, so look at the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess if you do this, it provides better coverage of the outfield, like the 15 point. So
Maybe.
if he rolls like a 3 or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. Well, I guess
Okay.
3-1. You
Let's
want
do
to do
that.
this? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
5-2. Okay, now 5-4.
Mm. Are we the pip count, yes. Well, it looks like it's 13-9, whatever happens.
Yeah,
And I think we should slot the 4 or maybe even 13-8. Is that
2
too
down. Yeah,
much? Is that
yeah,
too
it does
much?
duplicate twos.
And 4, no, 4 is no. Is that an overplay? I don't know.
One of the things I've learned is that
Mm,
in DMP in a 1 point match, it's a little
mhm,
different than other games because number one, there are no gammons or backgammons, so you don't have to play aggressively or
mhm,
defensively. Also, the cube is not in play, so you're never going to be doubled.
mhm,
And since the cube is not in play, you must play the game to its conclusion. And
mhm,
ultimately, backgammon is a race. So,
mhm,
what I
mhm.
found in my studies is that racing plays become stronger at DMP. You
Yes.
usually don't
Mhm,
want to get, like you mentioned, you only have one checker back
mhm,
and you want to
mhm.
get that checker out. Uh,
Yeah.
so leaving a blot gives the opponent the opportunity to hit
Mhm.
another one and send the other one back. So I think
Okay.
I would play 13-4. What do you like?
Okay, let's do this.
We'll do
I
okay.
agree with you. Yes.
4-1. Okay, plays behind, and now 5-1.
Mm. 13-8.
Mhm.
And I think we could wait for maybe them giving us a shot. So maybe 6-5.
6-5, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
Mm-hmm.
good to keep this one here because the
Mm-hmm.
further you move it forward, the more space the opponent has to
Yes,
behind
exactly.
you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we're
I'm actually
behind in
having doubts that maybe we should have stayed
yeah, yeah, it's
at
okay.
the back.
We'll learn. We'll learn.
Okay, okay.
6-2. Okay. Now double six. Okay. So we're behind by 11. So we'll be up by 13 in the race.
So let's run.
1, 2, 3, and 4. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah,
can't move from here.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So now it's close.
Yeah, now
5-4.
let's just transfer them 13-8. And then, we could even put one down, but I don't see much
Because of this. Yeah.
advantage. Yeah, no, let's play 5-4.
5-4. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
6-3. Okay.
Ooh.
4-2.
Uh-huh. So now I would definitely bring one down.
With the 4, with the 2.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, the 2 is then not very pretty. Um, maybe with the Huh. Interesting. Hmm. Maybe with the 4. Yeah, actually, I do 39 and 1 in. It's a race.
One
So,
in.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So people
Mm,
people get concerned, oh, you're leaving a two shot.
mm.
Is there any number that yellow would hit with if you were yellow? Like
Maybe double
maybe
2.
double two, but that's it,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
You're not gonna
Mhm.
hit with 2-1,
No.
3-2, 4-2.
No.
Yeah, so it's
No.
safer than it
No.
looks.
Yeah.
Okay. 6-2. Okay,
Mhm.
2-1.
So now let's hide it.
Mhm.
And why not an in? I know it's not pretty, but we need to get them in.
In.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it
No, we are still. Now we are not that much ahead in the race now. So let's make then the point. Can we make a point?
so 1 and
6-4 then.
6-4. Yeah.
Mhm.
But what
Okay.
what happens is if you play like this,
6,
6-1 will leave a shot
6,
in A.
1. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
1 and then 2.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
4-2. Okay. Now
Mhm.
6-2. We have to be a little more careful.
Yeah. Well, we are not leaving shots. It's a different story now. So 8-2 and maybe 3-1. 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. 4-1. Okay, makes the board. 4-1 for us.
Well, let's close the.
Close the point. Okay.
Uh-huh.
4-1. Now 5-2.
Yeah, we can't afford to shoot, so in.
In with both.
Mhm. Yes.
You know one thing I've heard, and maybe you can help me, is like in English we say you hit a checker, but
Mhm.
in French the word is to shoot, right?
Yes, that sometimes they say it in English, shooter.
Really? Yeah, I
Oh,
never
yes,
heard that. I first learned
shooter.
that when I read Francois Tardou's book.
Yeah, French use a lot of English and backgammon. Shooter,
Uh-huh.
blotter, slotter.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, very good. 6-1. Okay, here's the shot. 6-1. Look at
We
that. That's
wow.
perfect.
Well, we
Okay,
won. We won.
so let's see what happens. 5-4, and just
Yeah, just
like that.
just
Okay.
yeah.
6-2. Okay.
Mm, let's stay pair maybe. Yeah. Let's not take any risks.
So like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm, mm,
6-5. Okay.
that's perfect.
5-2. Double five.
Woo! Woo!
Wow.
Do you make all your guests win or?
It's just the dice.
Wow.
Okay,
This
great.
is
Outstanding player, world class.
fun. Mhm.
Congratulations. So let's take a look at like some of the interesting ones. The 6-5, interestingly, it liked actually splitting and coming down. That's interesting.
Huh.
It redistributes a spare to the 8 point
Mhm.
without unstacking, and it keeps this checker here as kind of a nuisance. So
Yes, it's because it's the stacking that's very bad on the
yeah, it's the
13.
stack. And
Yeah.
over here, when
Mhm.
when you do this,
Mhm.
now yellow's gonna make the five
Yeah.
point with 3-1 and 4-1. But over here, I think you'd have to hit, right?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a distraction. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
makes sense.
distraction,
Makes sense.
exactly,
Makes
exactly.
sense. Mhm.
And then the 2-1, yeah, I liked staying back, or even this
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
halfway. It was
I
close.
felt I felt it a little bit of remorse.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a learning opportunity. Okay, and then the 5-4 was coming down. Actually, 2 down was close. And
Mhm.
then this one was straightforward, and the double six was straightforward, and the
Mhm.
5-1 was there. The 4-2, wow, it liked this one. 13, 11, 6-2. But these are all very close.
Mhm. So no blunders.
No, I don't think so. And then 2-1 was there, and what else was there? Nothing else that was like too interesting.
Mhm.
These were tied. This one.
Well, it was a quite a classical game, quite
Yeah. And
straightforward.
and that
Yay!
was great. That was
And we
great. Now we
won!
won. Congratulations.
Congratulations! Maybe one day we'll play together.
Yes, I hope so. Okay, so Tanya, thank you very much. That was so much fun to be able to play and discuss so many topics. Thank you very
Yes,
much for
thank
your
you very
time.
much, Alex, for the opportunity.
My pleasure. Do you have any other final comments before we conclude on any of the topics that we discussed, or perhaps any different topics?
No, I think we covered quite a lot of things. I just think that the society is changing, so it's normal that backgammon is changing too. I think for some people it must feel a bit scary. For some men, I think backgammon is like the only space where they can be among guys and safe place. But I think it's important to open to others and each other, and I think we're going in the right direction.
Yes. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for all of your efforts and your initiatives. I hope much success for you to try to get more women to play backgammon or more people to play backgammon. It's just really good. In general, I feel one of the things we didn't really talk about is not just men and women, but people from all over the world. It just like brings people together. You don't have to think about, you know, things outside of that, different opinions or anything like that. It's just a game that we do to have fun, and having fun is something that's important in life. I was watching a stand-up comedian one time, and he said, there's so much stress in life. Take a little bit of time every day to smile or to laugh. And with backgammon, I think it's take some time to have fun, and that will be more fulfilling for your life.
I agree
Very good.
completely.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for coming. It's been such a pleasure to have you. You have an open invitation to return at your convenience. We'll go ahead and conclude the video. Thank you to the viewers for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, and I'll work on it. Again, if you love backgammon, you can become a member of this channel, giving you exclusive access to the most popular videos. My book, Backgammon Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. Until then, keep rolling your dice.